Hello guys, I am going to give a quick review and comparison between the MacBook Pro and the Lenovo IdeaPad 100S. Now before I even start the comparison, I want to thank you guys so much for doing really well on the Lenovo IdeaPad 100S review video. If you guys missed that, please check that video out. I'll put a link in the description down below, and let's get started. So for the first thing I want to compare between these two laptops, the price I'll go over last because that is not, it's very important, but it's not fun to talk about price in the beginning. So let's talk about the hardware. So the MacBook Pro is really famous for having one of the best hardware in a laptop out there. It's full unibody, really beautiful, handsome design. Rounded and smooth corners. Just it's built really well, and it just shows because of that really beautiful symmetrical body and the form factor. And there are barely any plastics except for this hinge and the keyboards, so that's a nice touch, and also the screen obviously. But if we move over to the IdeaPad 100S, I would say it's definitely more. It's built out of 100% plastic. Everything is plastic, literally everything. Even the screen is plastic, while on the MacBook Pro, I believe that it is glass. And the screen is really just okay on both of them. Now, let's go back to build quality. So the size itself, the MacBook Pro has a 13-inch display. This one has an 11-inch display. And you can clearly tell by the size. Now, the thickness, the Lenovo IdeaPad is much thinner and way lighter. So it's much better in portability. And the MacBook Pro kind of does suffer in that area. It's not that portable. And that's one of the downsides, in my opinion, of the MacBook Pro. But it's got much better, it's really powerful, I'll get to that stuff later. Now let's talk about the speaker. The speaker is very important in the laptop, or at least for me, it is very important as I watch a lot of videos and stream a lot of videos too. And the sound on both of them are just decent. MacBook Pro, the quality gets a little bit better, although the sound isn't as loud as the Lenovo's IdeaPad. The IdeaPad has a really loud speaker, but it definitely lacks in quality. I don't like that, but I'll compare the sound live right now, and I have to set something up on the Lenovo, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I am going to play on the MacBook first on full volume. So I'll just put it on full volume, as you can see on the MacBook, and full volume on the Lenovo. And I'll just play it for a few seconds. This is the MacBook, the Lenovo, MacBook, Lenovo. So as you can see, Lenovo's much louder in terms of sound, but the MacBook Pro sound quality is just a tad bit better. Now let's talk about keyboard. I definitely like the MacBook Pro's keyboard better, as it's much more fluid in typing, and it just also sounds way better. Just is much more deep. Like, you can press it more deep than the Lenovo. The keyboard just feels better on the MacBook. It's much more flexible too, which means that, for me at least, flexible keyboards make my typing much faster because I can just kind of glide over the key and just get to the next key fast. The Lenovo, it doesn't feel as deep as I want it to. It just feels very limited, if you know what I'm saying. So it feels very like the MacBook 2015. It almost feels like that keyboard, although it's a little bit better than that one. But this is also a relatively flexible keyboard, although I would have liked it to move more side to side. It's very rigid, but it's fine typing. Just personal preference mostly. Now the trackpad here is one of the big portion where the Lenovo lacks. They really lack in this portion of their of the device itself. So basically, the MacBook's trackpad is very soft, smooth. You can easily scroll down and up with 2 finger gestures. You can just click it and it'll play, it'll press, and then you can click it, it'll press. Lenovo, you only have to touch. You can't click the trackpad. You have to click this. You have to either click this or you have to kind of double tap it, which really kind of bugs me a lot. And this is the right click on the MacBook. It's 2 finger like that, but just it's super tiny too, so it's very uncomfortable. The MacBook trackpad are much bigger, much better. It just feels way better. Now let's talk about the display, since we're on the same website right now on both devices. So as you can see, the display on the MacBook gets quite a bit brighter. And let me put this on full brightness. Yeah, as you can see, it's much brighter. It's much more sharp. And full HD right here, and 720p right there on the Lenovo. And I can tell you that the viewing angles are much better on the Mac Pro, but they both kind of suffer in viewing angle for some reason. But Lenovo's display isn't just great, not the best display to watch high quality videos on it. Definitely not the best. So that's the display. And I think I covered all the hardware stuff. And the portability, definitely, it goes to the Lenovo IdeaPad 100S. But both of devices, the Lenovo is definitely the more portable one. And if you're looking for a portable laptop, maybe you might go with the Lenovo. But there are a lot of downsides of that laptop. So let's talk about just the speed itself. Because speed is very important when web browsing, doing all those stuff, even when you're doing powerful programs and all that stuff. So let's see how the MacBook Pro is decently fast. It's really, really good with browsing. That's just how MacBook works. It's really good with browsing, watching videos, just streaming videos, YouTube, everything. It works really well. Now, but when you get into the video editing, kind of suffers, especially because this is not the best MacBook you can buy right now, but kind of suffers in the high video streaming area there. And also, MacBook does pretty good on battery life. I'm really impressed by the battery life on this MacBook. I can get through a full day. I can barely get through a full day, actually. I have to charge it at night to do some stuff. But I can get through the day. Like, before I come home, I'll still have like 20% battery left. So that's pretty impressive. And also so the speed generally is really good, especially with the internet browsing and all of that stuff. Sometimes it lags out, but I mean, that's all computers. Now on the Lenovo IdeaPad 100S, even browsing kind of is laggy out sometimes, and most of the times it's not the best quality. And the Intel, I believe it has the Intel Atom, really does a pretty decent job of doing web browsing and all of those stuff, and it is pretty decent for browsing and just opening and closing applications and all of those stuff. And it runs Windows 10, so it's pretty smooth. The whole thing is pretty smooth, but it doesn't have you can't really access the latest Windows features, like the multi-window, like what you can do on the MacBook here, the multi-desktop, I should have said. And all of those aren't really that accessible because of the terrible trackpad and all that stuff. And you cannot do video editing on that. I would not recommend you to try it. If you are buying a laptop specifically for video editing, or even Adobe Illustrator, or even programming, I would not recommend the Lenovo IdeaPad 100S. Now, so I am saying a lot of bad things, well, not bad, but slow things about the Lenovo IdeaPad. But there are some really good parts, and the best part is the price, but I'm going to get to that at the last. But it's really good with web browsing. It's just a tad bit slower than the MacBook. Here, I'll just go on a website. Let's go to facebook.com, I guess. And let's go facebook.com here. So, here, let's actually. Oh, wow. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm ready for doing the test. And 3, 2, 1, go. So let's see which one. Yeah, so it's about the same speed. And I would definitely say it really doesn't make a whole lot difference between web browsing. So if you like web browsing, if you're only going to web browse, then the Lenovo IdeaPad 100S might be fine. Now, so my experiences, I'll just talk about my experiences. So I used the MacBook Pro for doing Adobe Illustrator, programming, Java specifically, and some video editing. The Lenovo IdeaPad 100S, I usually carry around all the time myself, and I don't even put it in a case because I care if it breaks, but it's not like a big deal if I break it or, make a slight dent. But, I usually carry that around for web browsing, watching videos, and just writing emails, or not like an entire essay, but like writing emails, or like doing quick homework, Google Classroom homework projects or something. And it works always really well, especially with the Wi-Fi that I get at school and all that stuff. The MacBook Pro, I usually just keep it at home, and I actually carry around sometimes the MacBook Pro if I'm doing a very heavy editing or Adobe Illustrator or anything like that. But the Lenovo is really, really good for just easy, just take it out quickly. You just search something up, go on Facebook, have fun with your friends. And after you're done, you just close your laptop, put it back in your backpack, and just go home and charge it overnight. The battery life on the Lenovo, by the way, it's really good. It's way better than the MacBook Pro, at least in my experiences. So it's really good for that Lenovo, and I really don't regret buying the Lenovo 100S because it's just really portable laptop that is really affordable. And speaking of price, I really want to tell you guys that one is probably better than the other because of the price. But really in technology, price matters, but there's gotta be a choice. And I believe that the MacBook Pro is definitely better, but if you are going to carry around your laptop every single day, or not every single day, but a lot and very often, then the Lenovo IdeaPad 100S is definitely going to be better than the MacBook Pro. But if you do heavy video editing, even Adobe Illustrator, anything like that, then just buy a MacBook Pro and be like, just buy the MacBook Pro and just carry it around. It's not that bad. It's pretty portable. But if you're not going to do those stuff, you're just going to web browse, and you really are a clumsy person, then go with the Lenovo IdeaPad 100S. Maybe after carrying this laptop for like a year or two, you'll feel like, oh, it's too slow, or it's too small, or this play's too bad, I can't do it anymore. Then I suggest you move to a better Windows laptop or even the MacBook Pro, because it's a really great laptop for really powerful, doing those things. So the price, the Lenovo is $200, usually $200. I actually got mine for $130, $120-ish. It's really cheap in Best Buy. You can buy it in anywhere, obviously. The MacBook Pro, this specific new one costs about $900 right now. $900 to $1,100. I got mine for $1,000. So, I mean, it's a big price difference. So, you really got to consider everything from starting from as little as the build quality to speed to, portability to just the user experience. And I'm having a great experience in both of them. So, it really comes down to really personal preference and your needs. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, give me a big thumbs up for the video. It's kind of a long video, but yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys next time.